Hello and welcome to Beads Jar. My name's Billy and today I'd like to show you how to make this double Kheops Par Puca Bracelet. So the materials we'll use, we've got a magnetic clasp. I've pre-cut 3 strands of 30cm lengths in the wire. We've got 2 jump rings, a selection of crimps. We've got the size 11 Miyukis seed beads, the matte beige 6mm Kheops and the hematite Kheops. Tool wise, I'm just going to need my flat nose pliers and side cutters. So we're going to take our wire first. So I've got 3 strands, like I say, I've pre-cut these, and we're going to take our clasp and 1 jump ring. To start, I'm just going to attach the jump ring to the clasp. Now, with it being magnetic, it can be quite amusing because it wants to stick to your pliers. So I'm just going to hook that on. As you see, it clicks to the pliers as you do. So just be aware that it wants to move with you sometimes. So we're going to leave that on there, and we're going to add our first strand of wire onto the jump ring. So you're going to put your crimp bead on your wire, so thread that on, let that fall a little bit down the wire, we've got plenty to work with, and then you're going to go through the jump ring with the wire and then back on yourself. So you're taking that wire and you're going back through the crimp bead. So just once through the jump ring, and then that tail end is going to slide into the crimp bead, like so. And you want to pull that up towards the jump ring, and then we're going to crush that. So you just want to crush the crimp bead flat. So pliers on it square, and then you're just going to crush it. Once this is crushed, it won't move on the wire. So that's the first strand put on there. We'll go to the second one. Same process, crimp bead goes on, and we're going to put that onto the jump ring. And then the third strand. So now onto that jump ring, I have all 3 strands. Okay. They're a bit bouncy at this point, but when we put the other side on, they'll sit better. Now we're going to start by threading our beads on. Now I've got this laid out here, so you should have a centre strand and then 2, a left and a right hand strand. And we're going to start with the centre one, and we're going to put 5 seed beads, 5 Miyuki seed beads onto this strand. And when I'm going to drop this down, I want to show you, rather than cut away the tail end after the crimp, so that bit that's sticking out, we actually want to slide that into the beads. It just means that your bracelets don't have like scratchy edges coming out from where you're trying to get close to the crimp, and this just gives you a nicer finish as well. So that was the centre one, and we've got 5 seed beads on that. And then on the left hand, we're going to put 6 seed beads on. So 6 of those. They're probably going to move around a bit, but always check at the end that everything's where it should be before you finish your fasteners off. So we've gone 5, 6, and on the right hand thread I'm going to put 8 seed beads. Right, so we've got the seed beads threaded. Like I say, this might move just a little bit, but don't worry. And I'm going to start with the hematite Kheop. Now with the Kheops, they've got one edge where you have 2 holes, and then the triangular sides just have the 1 hole exiting. So we're going to start with the 2 hole side, and we're going to go from the center strand we have to the left hand, which was the 6. So the 5 and the 6. And I'm going to take those 2 cords through either side of the holes on the Kheop. Okay. So I'm going to go through my first, so this is the center strand with the 5 seed beads, and I'm going through the top hole in the Kheop. So we've come up through one side and out of the other, and then we're going to take the left hand strand. This one has 6 seed beads on it. Okay, and you're going to go through the other hole on the Kheop, like so. And that's going to come all the way down on those strands, and that's when I said it will move a bit, so just check everything's sat where it ought to be. So that's our threading so far. So we've got the 5 and 6, and then we've got the 8 at the top. And now we're going to be able to put our next Kheop on. Now this time we don't want to go through the edge with the 2 holes, we want to reverse this angle, so it's going to sit alongside our hematite. So you want to get the 1 hole on that triangle, and we're going to take the middle strand through that one. Sorry, I'm trying to do this so that you can see it without me covering where the bead's sitting. So that will flop that side, and you can see that second hole there, and that's going to have the top strand with the 8 seed beads going through it. So we're just going to go through and down. And then you can see that is going to work like so. So they're going to sit staggered up and down. Onto the bottom strand now, I'm going to add 3 seed beads. And then I'm going to take another matte Kheop and the 2 center strand and the bottom strand, and this time we do want the double end, and that's going to go onto those 2 this way. So this is the middle strand that's going through that hole, and the bottom strand through the other one. And that's going to go all the way down to the other Kheops to sit like that. Then we're going to add 3 seed beads onto the top strand. and then we get our next hematite, and you're going to use that in the reverse. So all the top strand we're going through these 1 holes, and all the bottom strands are going to have the 2 holes facing in this way. So we're just going to pop that on. So the top strand goes through the hole, and the centre strand through the opposite hole. And down to our beads. So you can start to see that pattern really emerging, and it just gives a really beautiful effect with the Kheops. So continue like that until you've got the length you want, and then we'll move on to finishing the end. Right, so we've threaded further along our pattern. I'm not going to continue to do the full bracelet, I'll get on to show you how to put the fastener on instead. The first thing I'm going to do is separate the magnetic clasp, and I'm going to just add my jump ring onto that to start me off. So I'm just going to use my pliers to open the jump ring and connect that onto the magnetic fastener. There we go. Make sure that's sealed, and now we're going to thread the end. So we had a certain number, so we had 8, 5 and 6. When we do the other side, you want to reverse that, so we've got the bottom strand here with the 8, so the top strand's going to have the 8 on this side, so it sits correctly when we've done the bracelet up. So I've got 3 already on there, and that'll give me the 8. Oh, naughty seed beads jumping off. Okay, 1 more to go on. And then we're going to put our crimp bead onto our strand, and this time we are going to allow the crimp bead to go all the way down to the seed beads. And then you're going to take your thread and you're going to go through the jump ring, and then you want to take the thread back through the crimp bead and also the row of seed beads, and then out to the side near the Kheop. Just before I do that, when you are about to put your fastener on, just check that that tail end is hidden and inside your beads. You don't want it poking out at this stage. So I'm going to go back through the crimp bead and the seed beads. So you'll have noticed it's gone all the way through. And I'm just going to take my pliers and hold the side that isn't moving on my wire, and I can bring that loop really nice and close. We don't want that being baggy. So that's secure. Again, I'm just going to do a final check that the crimp bead and the tail end is hidden, and then we're going to take that excess wire off using our side cutters. We get nice and close and take that wire away. And then we just want to crush the crimp bead. So you're just going to take your pliers and crush that bead flat. Connecting that one. And then we're going to do 5 seed beads on the centre row. Okay, so we're going to put our crimp bead onto the middle strand now, and then go through the jump ring. And then you're going to go back down through the crimp bead. Oops, it's just jumped into the jump ring there. And through the first 5 seed beads as well. pull that down. You can use your pliers if you need to. Although on this occasion, that magnetic fastener is attaching to them. So I've got that close, and then we're just going to take that excess wire away. And we're going to do the same for the third one. But our crimp needs crushing, and then we'll move on to the third strand. And I think one of my little seeds has fallen off, so I'll just pop that on there as well. So we should have 6 on this strand. So I've put the crimp bead on, and through. Just make sure you don't cross over this side, you need to stay parallel. And you're going to go through your crimps and your seed beads. And finish that by using our pliers to crush that last crimp bead. And that gives you the fastener. Obviously this is a miniature one. I'll show you the completed version. So that's the completed fastener, which is magnetic, so it pops back and forth, and that is the completed bracelet.
Thank you for watching, and we hope you've enjoyed this project. We'd love to hear from you, so subscribe now to our YouTube channel, give us a thumbs up, and let us know if you've got any projects you'd like to see in future. Bye!